And today I'm going to show you how I made a fun card with the Stampin' Up! On Display stamp set. This is a new bundle. I guess I should call it the On Display bundle. This is a new bundle that would be available to order starting on the 4th of November. And it's in the new online exclusive. So if you have not seen those yet, yeah, just come let me know. I've got, I can tell you more about it. I also did a video, I don't know, a while back, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, where I actually showed you all of the new online exclusives that I had ordered, and this was one of them. And sorry, I'm moving my camera around here a little bit last second, of course, because my screen finally came up and I could see that I was crazy crooked and way down goofy on this. So anyway, hey everybody, I see Sally is here, and Carol and Judy and Melanie and Tina, Pam. Thanks for hopping in today. I appreciate you guys joining me. So it's a cute little stamp set. It's one of those, it is going to take you a minute because there's a lot of die cutting if you put together a card that is similar to mine. But yeah, it's a lot of die cutting, but I think it's really cute, and you can fill up your little bookshelf however you might like to. If you have somebody who loves books, there's lots of options. You can fill the whole thing up with books if you want to. But I kind of did a little mix and match of a bunch of different things from the stamp set. And then I used the little hello sentiment on here. There's lots of different ones, and I think that they all fit within one of the little squares on here. So these two, I believe, well, I guess you might be able to fit them in this one and this one. Otherwise, you can turn it like this and, use it in a different way if you want to do that. But I just thought it was a cute little bookshelf, just as it is. So I'm going with it and fill it up with all sorts of fun little things. So, hey, Karen and Julie, thanks. And beautiful. It's actually beautiful here in New Jersey today, too. It is sunny. And I don't know, probably right around 70, maybe a little cooler. There's a little bit of a breeze, definitely starting to look like fall outside. There are tons of beautiful trees. The leaves are starting to turn, although that means raking and cleaning up. But, it is what it is. They're pretty to look at while they're on the tree. So, hey, Danette, thanks for joining. All right, this is the stamp set. Again, it's got some fun little sentiments in it. And then all the little images there are dies for, and you can die cut pieces, you can stamp them, you can whatever you want to do with them. So all sorts of fun little things that you can fill up the bookshelf with in the stamp set. Oh, you said a hailstorm? My goodness. Yeah, none of that here today. It's beautiful outside. So I don't even know that we're supposed to get any rain today. I feel like tomorrow maybe there's some in the forecast, but not a ton. So this little outline, and actually I have it upside down, this is the bookshelf, and then this is actually technically the top of the bookshelf. There's a sample card that Stampin' Up! Made, and they put the top of the bookshelf on facing like this. I thought it kind of looked like it was upside down. I'm not going to swear for sure, but I thought it looked like it should go on like that. So that's how I did it on my card, but it certainly works either way. And then again, for every little stamped image in here, there is a die. There are a couple of accessory dies here. This is actually creates a little picture frame, which I use that down here for the little bird picture. This one also creates a picture frame. There are some books, like stacks of books here and here, and then this one is like a straight up and down set of books. If you wanted these to look more like cabinets or cupboards, you can actually, when you're die cutting it, leave the pieces in place so it will cut out the door, and then you can put like a handle on it. And there's another handle, I feel like somewhere on here. I thought there was a second handle. I don't know, there's so many dies I'm having a hard time keeping track of. Oh yeah, here's the smaller handles. I thought there were. So two of them that are little smaller handles. This is actually obviously a plant, and then it's got a kind of a rounded bottom on it, which is perfect for being able to stick it inside like the little planters type things here. And I'll show you because I did a couple of these images, and I'll show you how it works with the little potted plant look. And it makes it really easy for adhering them together because it's not a little skinny piece down there at the bottom. And then again, there's little banners, and again, the picture, all sorts of fun. Oh, and this is like a little, almost looks like a cookie jar type thing. So that is a separate stamp. There is a bird cage, kind of a smaller bird cage, that if you like the smaller bird cage, you can certainly do that one. And then this is obviously some greenery. So it is a huge die set, and actually a pretty big stamp set as well. But a great bundle, again, coming on November 4th. Yeah, I don't know for sure, Terry, that, like I said, I'm guessing it's something with the way you sign in. I don't even know for sure. That YouTube is always changing something crazy. So, hey, thanks for hopping in from, I almost called you California, Canada as well. So freezing there, goodness, I'm not looking forward to that weather. That is for sure. All right, let me set this aside. and the stamp set aside. A couple things before we get going. The first one, and probably the most important one, is free shipping from Stampin' Up! On orders of $75 or greater, October 22nd through the 24th. So you got 3 days of free shipping with an order of $75 or greater from Stampin' Up! October 22nd to the 24th. Today, as I'm recording this, is the 21st. If you're watching it on the 22nd, go out and get your order put in then. If you're watching it on the 21st, then go ahead and, wait till tomorrow. So mine is the only one that's doing that. I don't know, because I know Mary, one of my team members, said that hers have been doing this for a while too, that everybody's names show up like this. So I don't know. And maybe it's one of those rolling updates. Who knows? So yes. All right. So don't forget, free shipping. Go get your orders put in tomorrow, which is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar is still available from Stampin' Up! Here in the U.S. anyway. So if you are interested in that, get your hands on that. And you can get free shipping on it if you order it during the free shipping time period, because it's $99, so it's over that $75 limit. And then there's the awesome joining promotion going on from Stampin' Up! Right now. 2 really great starter kit options. The first one is $35 for the starter kit, and you get to pick $125 worth of Stampin' Up! Products of your choice, whatever you might want. The kit will ship for free. Or you have the second choice where you can pay $99, which is the usual kit price, and you get to pick $189 worth of Stampin' Up! Merchandise of your choice. Again, you get to pick whatever you want in it. And again, the kit will ship for free. And if you join now, you can also purchase during the free shipping as a demonstrator, get your 20% discount and get free shipping. So yay. Let me know if you have any questions about that. We've had lots of people joining the team. So it's a really good deal on a starter kit. So I would say hop on it if you are considering it at all. Try it out. If you don't like it, you can always drop and go back to being a customer, so all good. All right. And then last thing is online exclusives, which this card that I'm showing you, all the products on here are an upcoming online exclusive. Just make sure that you're checking those out anytime you're out in the online store. And those actually, you can find them by going to stampinup.com, then clicking on the menu button, and then the little round button that says online exclusives, and you'll be right in there to see what's all available now. All right. If I didn't say hi to Carol, hey, Carol, thanks for hopping in. All right, my original card, as you know, I prefer my top fold cards. So I used a 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 across the top. So it is the top fold card that I made for my sample card. But I did want to show you that this one will work with a regular book fold card as well. So this is I'm sorry, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, just your standard book fold card. That it'll work with that too. So this is thick basic white card base, and then I've got a piece of the Woven Textures Designer Series paper that I'm going to put down here on the card front, and I use this because mostly I thought it looked kind of like wallpaper, so that was kind of why I went with it. So hey Denise, thanks for joining. So we're going to use a little liquid glue to adhere this together, and the panel of Designer Series paper is about 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. The measurements will all be on my blog tomorrow, so go over there and look because I usually say the wrong thing. But details will be on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com, and I'll link directly to it once the post goes live around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time on Wednesday. All right, so we got those adhered together, and you'll be happy to note that I did quite a bit of the die cutting ahead of time. So this piece, actually, let me pull the dies back over, is obviously this large kind of frame looking die. I just ran this through the die cutting machine with crumb cake cardstock. One tip that I can give you, especially with any large kind of flat edged dies, if you can angle it just slightly as you're running it through the die cutting machine, if it goes through straight, it's the rollers hit this edge and there's like a big bump and it's hard to get it to roll through the machine. If you angle it ever so slightly, just making sure you're keeping it on the cutting mat because you don't want to destroy your die, but if you turn it at just a slight angle, then it will roll through much, much smoother. So that is my recommendation anytime you're using these big dies with a flat edge on them like that. And then I also die cut this piece from crumb cake cardstock as well, and we'll be playing with that one in a second. So let's start with pecan pie cardstock. This piece is 3.5 inches wide by about 5 inches tall. And if you layer them together, you're going to find out that they fit pretty much exactly together. And I did that just because I wanted to have a little backing behind it as I was sticking things on. If you don't mind and want it to look through more like the kind of IKEA look to it, you can certainly just stick this straight to your card front. I went ahead and used a piece of cardstock instead. And I'm going to use a bunch of glue dots here to stick this together. Again, you could use liquid glue if you are better at liquid gluing than I am. I am not great at liquid glue. I struggle sometimes even with, glue dots and steel. But I thought glue dots were a little easier. Liquid glue, I was afraid I'd have a gluey mess everywhere. And I could kind of target these little glue dots to the spots where I wanted it held down well, and it worked out okay. So I didn't have any problems with it kind of buckling up or causing any troubles with just the little glue dots under it. But again, you can use your choice. You could also use an adhesive sheet if you wanted to when you die cut it. Just make sure that you put the adhesive sheets on the back of it before you run it through the die cutting machine. And then you'll have your adhesive on the back, and it'll essentially turn it into a sticker. But like I said, the glue dots take a minute just because I got to stick them all on individually. But I thought they worked pretty well to stick things together. And then you can kind of put one on each of the little rounded spots if you want that many on there. I just put a couple towards the center and quite a few around the edges to hold everything down. See, I know you're impressed that I can even stick myself to a project with glue dots, which probably I shouldn't be able to do that, but somehow I can still do it. So, and the tweezers or the little pokey tool on the Take Your Pick tool is a great way to move these little glue dots to your project without hopefully sticking too much of yourself to them. I think I'm going to put one more like right over there to kind of hold that side of it down, and maybe one more up here, and then I'll be done putting glue dots down. So I can move on to the fun part of the project, the decorating, as opposed to the glue dotting. All right, one more. We'll put it right up in there. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take this, and actually I'm going to go put this with the glue dotted side up. That will help me to be able to line things up a little bit easier, and then I know that I'm going to get everything covered without any extra stuff peeking out. So then you get that. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hope that I don't goof anything up, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment in this little block. So I'm going to start with that, since that's first things first. And if I really make a total mess of this sentiment, I can always glue something over the top of it and stamp the sentiment in another spot. So this is Early Espresso ink, and I've got the little hello sentiment. I was trying to conserve blocks so that I wouldn't have to pull out 8,000 of them. So I did a few back to back. All right, we got a good image on that one. So I'm going to take that, close it up, and go, phew, the hard part's over. Not really. All right. Then, hold on. I can't even, did I forget to put, I forgot to get a piece of basic white cardstock out to like stamp all the stuff on. Hang on. Thankfully, my cardstock is right behind me, and I have a piece that's not, incredibly huge. So, all right, let's get started with some stamping. So I've got this little plant image, which I think this is I'm sure there's an official name for it, but I think they call them mother-in-law's tongue. At least that's what I was told they were called way back when. And I've got Old Olive ink, so we're going to stamp that little image in Old Olive ink. And then close it up. And on the flip side of it, this is the one that's, again, I think they're called elephant ears or something like that. I'm just going by the names I've heard them called, so I don't know if those are the official names or not. So, hey, Sherry, thanks for joining. And I see, is it Jean Smiley? I just see Smiley J, so I'm not sure who that is. But, all right, I've got Granny Apple Green ink that I'm going to stamp the little elephant ear image in. Now we have got the snake plant is what your son tells you. That could be too. I don't know. I am definitely not a plant person. So, oh, Joan. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for hopping in, Joan. So, all right, I've got Timid Tiger, and that is what I'm going to stamp the stripes for the cat. So that's what this crazy looking image is. It's the stripes for the cat. So we're going to stamp that over here. And then over the top of that, we're going to stamp the solid cat image, which is this one. And I've got crushed curry ink. So mother-in-law's tongue is what you've called it too? Okay, so like I said, I knew that someone had told me that, but I don't know, I'm not very good at all these plant things. So crushed curry ink, I'm going to stamp it on scrap paper once, and then I'm going to take it here, and we're going to line it up over the top of the line images, and we're going to stamp the little kitty on there. All right, then, don't want to have that one go too far away. I've got gray granite ink, and we're going to stamp the birdcage image. So I've got that one stuck on a block here. All right. And actually, I'm going to go ahead, while I've got this out, I stamped it also on the inside of the card. So I'm going to go ahead. This is just basic white cardstock that's cut to about 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to take this and stamp my little birdcage image in there as well. And then I will stamp the birds inside the birdcage in crushed curry ink. So we've got the little set of 3 birds. And I don't know if they're officially designed to sit on any specific spot in the birdcage. I just kind of went with that because it looked like this one, the top one was sitting on that line, this one was sitting on the heart, and this one was sitting on the bottom line. I don't know. That was how, in my brain, that it worked best to line up the birds. Whether that's the right way or not, I don't know exactly, but that was what I went with. So, all right, got a second one there. Then I'm going to close that up and get that out of the way, and I'm going to clean my stamp, so hang on. That's my little bird stamp. For the little picture that I have, the bird framed, it's actually just one of the birds from the stamp that I stamped a second time in Timid Tiger ink. So at this one, since the stamp set is photopolymer, it's really easy to ink it up. You can basically just look through the stamp, make sure you got your bird inked the way you want it to be. And then I'm going to stamp it over here, kind of away from this, and try to keep it away from the images up above it as well, because that's got a little frame that we're going to cut it out with. What else do I have left to stamp here? I've got some greenery, so I've got a garden green and this little kind of sprout of greenery. I don't know what, I'm sure there's probably some, again, I don't know what that is, but whatever that green, leafy green plant is. Then what else have I got left to stamp? We've got some books. So I've got Lost Lagoon ink for the books. And that was actually the most challenging part of this card, was really trying to figure out what color to stamp everything. It took me a minute to go through, and I'm like, I want that blue or brown, or, what color should I do this? So that was the hardest part for me. So I've got Pool Party ink, and that is what I stamped the kind of fancier glass jar in. So we're inking that one up, and we'll stamp that one down here. Oof, come on, fingers, there we go. And then I've got the globe, and then the more solid jar image, and we're going to stamp both of those in Coastal Cabana ink. So, hey, Tanya, thanks for hopping in. So, all right, the little globe image, and we'll stamp that over here. And then the more solid jar image, again, Coastal Cabana ink on that one. And then I think the final image here, I think I have everything stamped, is Cajun Craze. And where did I put it? I know I had it on one of these. Oh, here it is. I'm like, I just had it in my hand. What did I do with it? That's what happens when I put images back to back on stamps. This is a little flower pot, and I'm going to stamp this one 3 times since we've got 3 sets of flowers to put inside little flower pots. All right. And there, I've stuck my fingers in the ink. So between the glue and the ink, yeah, I'm a mess. All right. So I'm going to show you which dies I'm going to use here, and then through the magic of television, we're going to have all these things die cut. So I've got, this is the one for the little plants. This one's, we'll cut out this plant. And when you're stamping the plant images, just be aware you need a little space underneath them, because they've got this little extra piece that makes it much easier to adhere them if you are sticking it inside the little flower pot. We got the circle that's going to cut out our globe. This one will cut out the little pots for the plant. This one cuts out the books. This one cuts out the tall jar. Whoop, nope, that's the small jar. That is definitely not the tall jar. This is the tall jar die. Then, here's the other little jar die. And we've got the birdcage outline die. And then the final, this one is the mother-in-law's tongue, or whatever we've decided that one is called. So that is all the dies that I use to cut all these things. It's a tons and tons of dies. And also I did, and I'll explain in a second, I used this one for the globe, and I'll show you what I did with that one in just a second. But rather than, because it would take me several passes of getting this all through the die cutting machine while you're sitting here watching a whole lot of nothing, we're just gonna set this aside, and then I will go, ta-da, all of these die cut pieces I got done magically through the magic of television. So, all right. Oh, and the one, I forgot to show you the little bird. I'm such a dingling. So, all right. This is the frame die that I was telling you about that I cut the little bird out with. So I just lined the bird up inside here and die cut the little bird. And then I took this same die and cut a piece of crumb cake cardstock and basically took the outside piece to create the frame. So this cuts, obviously, the frame, and then the inside it cuts as well. So you get both, you know, 2 for 1, I guess. So, all right. I think that's all the die cuts here. So let's get this mess scooted aside here, and I'll try to figure out where I've put everything, including my glue dots. All right. I'm going to start adhering pieces together. So we've got our little kitty. So and we're going to stick that one, stick the kitty up here at the top. I figured you know, at least the cats that I have had before, the top shelf would definitely be where the cat would end up. They're never down on the bottom. You know, someplace you always have to look up and go, what in the world? How did you get up there, cat? So, all right. So this is the spot that I was telling you when you're die cutting the little plants. You get this little extra piece down here at the bottom, so you can put your adhesive on there to make it really quick and easy to stick your little flower pots underneath your plants. So there we go. We got that one. And we've got another little flower pot here and the second little plant. Sticking those together with a glue dot. There we go. And then the third little plant and the final little flower pot. All right. Get our plants all put together here. And then I'm going to adhere the bookshelf, or the books inside the bookshelf first. And then we'll put the plants over the top of those. So I'm going to tuck in the books sort of over here to the left. Oh, come on. There we go. And then we're going to put the smaller plant up there on the shelf with the books. And I put the plant in front of the books. Whether I should have or not, I don't know. But that's how I did it. So, all right. There we go. Scoot the plant up a little straighter. So it's a really cute set. It's a lot of fun to play with. And like I said, it's just the hardest part for me was just picking out what color to stamp everything. And then once I had that done, I'm like, oh, okay, well then putting it together, that's a snap. So, all right, tucking the little plant down here near the bottom. And then my third plant over on the other side on the bottom as well. And I think I'll put another little glue dot underneath since the leaves are kind of large on that one. I want to make sure that that stays stuck down to the card front well. Then we've got our little bottles in here. So I'm going to take the larger or the taller, more solid bottle, put that one in first. There we go. Got some little fuzzies on my card. Put that one in here. And then we'll take the little decorative bottle and we'll put that one over the top. And I'll put a second glue dot on that one. I probably don't need it, but better to have it be extra securely stuck down than have it, you know, flapping around. What else do I have here? We've got the globe and the bird cage. So let me put the bird cage in first since that's one of the bigger ones. A couple of glue dots on the back of that. And again, just tucking it down here inside the little shelf. And then the globe, like I said, this I cut from silver foil sheets. And it was with that little globe die. Let me grab the die here. And I just threw it right across the screen very impressively. So this is a little die. It's definitely kind of a delicate one. There is a stamp, so if you want to just stamp this and then stick the globe to it, you certainly can do that. I die cut it just because I had a die, so I figured I might as well go ahead and do it. But I had put adhesive sheets on the back of this before I die cut it. So I'm going to see if I can hopefully get the adhesive sheet. I think I stuck adhesive sheets on the back of it. There we go. I thought I had. Then I had the moment of panic that I thought maybe I'd forgotten. So I had put adhesive sheets on the back of that. I'm going to take that and stick it up here on the top part of the globe, or top part of the shelf. There we go. And then we're going to take the globe and stick it obviously right there in the middle of the little globe holder, or the frame, or whatever is the globe holder. I don't know. The frame for the globe, to say that. And then the final piece that I have to glue on is the little picture frame. And I'm going to grab some liquid glue to put that on. And I will use a glue dot to stick the little bird picture inside. But the liquid glue and we don't always love each other, so I try not to use it unless I absolutely have to. And with this one, again, you could use an adhesive sheet, but I didn't think to use the adhesive sheet until after I had everything all cut, so I just glued it. There, whoops, stay down, stay down. And then here's my little bird picture, and we're just going to glue that one inside here with a little glue dot, and it should fit perfectly inside that frame since I used the same frame to die cut them both. And there we go. So basically the whole card front's done. We just need to glue everything together. I guess I need to glue the top on. So again, this is die cut from crumb cake cardstock with that kind of beautiful decorative die. When I glued it, I did put a little bit of liquid glue across here and then stuck it sort of together really well with Stampin' Dimensionals. So I just put a little liquid glue on here, just enough to kind of hold it to the larger frame, and roughly centered it. So there we go. Feel like we're a little lopsided. All right, I think that's better. And depending on, again, which side of this you're putting this on, line up these two edges. Don't assume that's your center, because when I initially put it down the first time, I was like, oh, way wrong. But yeah, just line up your little edges over here, and then you'll be good to go. So, all right, going to flip this over, and we're going to put a whole pile of Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of it. So again, it'll make for exciting television, watching me put dimensionals all over the back of something. But just wanted to show you how I put everything together, so I didn't want you to miss out on the fun dimensionalizing of it. So, all right. Stick a few here towards the center and a couple around the edges. Maybe one more, and I think we'll call that good on the dimensionals. Now to peel all the backings off. And once we have this done, the whole card front is done. And really, we've already got the inside stamped, so 3/4 of the inside is done too. So we're almost done. So, all right, peeling off the backings here. There we go. All right, and we're just going to flip it over and put it here on the card front. Trying to line it up on my grid paper so that my center line is lined up in the center of my card, hopefully. There we go. I think that looks roughly centered. And then that'll help me to center this on my card front. And again, this is pretty, I mean, it's not a super tight fit, but it's kind of a tight fit top to bottom. So just be aware, especially before you adhere this piece on, check how tall your card is. You don't want this to be hanging off the top and then it won't fit in your envelope. So that's why it's kind of overlapped a little bit. Or like I said, when Stampin' Up! Did theirs, they actually flipped it the other way and put this down here so the smaller piece was sticking near the top. So whatever works best for your card. I just liked it a little better like this. So that was my personal opinion. All right. I have got that piece of basic white cardstock that I'd stamped the bird cage on already. So again, gray granite and crushed curry are the two colors of ink that I used on that. And then I've got a little strip of the leftover designer series paper from the card front that I trimmed away. And we're just going to use a little Stampin' Seal to stick that to the inside of the card. And I tried to make it look like it was kind of resting on the designer series paper. I don't know if I was very successful at that, but that was kind of what I was going for. And we're going to trim off the extra here. I see it didn't get stuck on there very straight, but that's all right. Well, I think it'll work. It'll still fit inside the card, not enough of it's overhanging, so we're good. All right, going to put a little Stampin' Seal on the back of here. And close that up, and we'll put it on the inside. I'm glad y'all are loving this card. Oh, I almost put that on upside down and get busy yucking. I'm glad you guys are loving this card. It's a cute little stamp set for sure, and I love all the dies. So I'm always a sucker for all these die sets that have all these cute little things that you can make and the little scenes and that sort of thing. Those are always my favorites. So, all right, so there we go. All done. You weren't crazy, but Karen, you know, you just need to come hang out and talk to me about it before you decide whether you like things or you don't, because I'm always happy to change your mind. That's always my goal, is to get everybody to be like, oh, I love it now. So, all right. Hopefully I did that. Like I said, it's a cute little stamp set. Great for anybody. Well, great for anybody, I think, but especially great if you have somebody who likes to read. You can fill it up with as many books as you want. And somebody who loves kitties. Awesome. So, it is a sweet little stamp set. Again, it's called On Display, and it'll be available to order starting on the 4th of November for everyone. It's available right now for demonstrators to pre-order, so if you want to get a little early head start on it, go join today if you're not already a demonstrator. It's crazy great deal. So join, and you can pick up this bundle as part of your starter kit. So, all right. Thanks again, everybody. Glad you were here. Have a great weekend. Well, rest of your week. I guess it's only Tuesday. It feels like the weekend to me because I'm getting ready to take off for some team events. We've got a couple of retreats that are back-to-back in Georgia. So I will be out of town for a few days. So I will not be back with another live until, I think it's the 4th of November. I think that's the Tuesday. I can't remember if it's the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th, somewhere in there. Whatever that Tuesday is, the first Tuesday in November, I will be back with another live. But until then, I'll still be putting things out on my blog, so certainly go check that out every day. But we'll see you all live in about 10 days. So have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. Have a fun Halloween for anybody who's celebrating. And we'll see you all in November.